that way. Hello, Moto. Making sure I fit. Okay, rotate your device. Oh man, no, that's not what I want. Hold on. Finish. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my Facebook the right way. All right. Oh my goodness. Can't you go? Oh, I know why. I'm not. I'm locked in a mode. Okay. Why is that way? Well, hello everybody. Let me just get my living on. Someone's here. A few people are here. Hey, good to see you guys. Trying to make sure that YouTube and Facebook are both going. I just want this to be even, so that's me being picky. Please let me know if you can hear me. Some people are on. There he is. Is that Jay Watson? Anyway, yeah. If you let me know if you can hear me on YouTube. Let me know if you can hear me on Facebook over there. Nice to see you guys. All right, we're gonna be doing a workout today that is derived from the movements of and techniques of fight scenarios, right? So we're gonna take it to like the self-defense side a little bit, and we're gonna do stuff that should be your absolute plan A if you were to get into an altercation. Okay. What I want to make sure is that everybody can hear me. Sounds good. Thank you, Steve Ross. Thank you, John Gavin. I hear you on YouTube. Jay Watson, do you hear me on Facebook? I think my head's going to be cut off for some of the stand-up stuff, and I've played around as much as I can with the camera angles. But you guys don't need to always see my face for some of this. So let me pull up the order of the stuff I've got going. Okay. Cool. All right. And I'd like to get to where we're doing, I'd like to get this week to where we're doing the interval training style, where I limit how long I'm speaking for, and then we do sort of like, because that does add that cardio element. But for today, I want to talk about it. Today, I'll try and do that without the timer. Just limit my introductions and then spend some time repping. Okay. And matter of fact, let's actually start with just a little bit of a warm up. All right. So I know that YouTube. Let me just see. Facebook loses me before YouTube does height wise. So I can pay attention to the Facebook as a monitor. Okay. So let's do this. First, let's just warm up. So I'm going to do it seated here so you can see me, but you can stand and do this. As you know, I like to kind of like work my way up from the hands and wrists into like arm circles, bigger arm circles, other way arm circles. So as frequently on Mondays, I go, just move your shoulders around. Frequently on Mondays, I go into PMA. And that's because I'm filming the monitor because I'm showing recent rolls. Today, what I did was I found today, honestly, the rolling review class, let's do our neck, left, right, is going to be a little bit different, but honestly better looking, because a lot of times I film the monitor of the security camera at PMA. But today I have some videos that I'm going to, through the Zoom tonight, I'm going to share my screen. It's going to be crystal clear, and I'll be able to rewind and scrub and whatever a lot better. Up, down. Because I found some videos that I had, older videos, and I might share part of a Rob Kahn seminar as well. Just because it's always good to listen to Rob talk. I may do that while I set up or as a sort of a conclusion. But if you want to see your rolls, always let me know. Try to let me know in advance. So like today, for example, if you show up, we can I can look for one of yours if I've recorded one, but otherwise it'll be harder to find than if I was at PMA. And today I'm going to have a little bit better looking ones that were shot with a camera. Okay, roll your neck. It's going to be treated a lot like a self-defense sort of class. Okay. Then you lay on your back. Let's do leg circles. One way. Try to move your hips. Try to get your knees to turn and face the opposite. Left, right. Other way. All right. Let's stand up. Let's just first do a little bit of standing fighting footwork. Okay? So again, I know you can't all see my face. You could if I was all the way in the corner. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to get into a fight stance. A fight stance is what it is for a number of reasons. I mean, we see it in movies, the fisticuff stance, but anybody here with striking experience knows this already. But, your backhand usually is going to be the power punch. Front hand's probably going to be a jab. So for me, as somebody who's right-handed, I frequently have my right leg back. So just like one moment about that, that is for striking what we want to do. Am I going to strike a lot in a fight as a grappler? No. So I might start to think about adopting like Hickson's frame of mind. Hickson believes that you should have your strong leg forward because that's going to be, the way that you clinch. I've got a career full of doing it. Just regular, not southpaw. So you stand the way you'd like to stand. And please ignore if there's any on YouTube or Facebook, but not both. If I say left, the image is reversed, okay? So do as I say, not what you see. And let's just do footwork drills a little bit. So keeping your hands up, which means that your hands basically, are blocking, your temples. Elbows are in, block your temples with your hands. So I have the soft of my knuckles against my temples here. Okay, now step forward, always with your front foot. Okay, so step forward, front foot first. Do it again, do it again. Okay, and now I'm turning sideways. You don't have to. When you step backwards, it's always your back foot first. Okay, so forward with your front foot, backwards with your back foot. And you notice I'm trying to be married to the ground. You don't hear a lot of me sliding my foot because I also want to be, I don't want there to be too much friction when I'm trying to move around. But as soon as I get back to the ground, I'm low, I'm in base, I'm heavy. I try to imagine that if I had scales under my feet, I could somehow make them heavier, which I've tried to do in real life and you actually can't do. So let's do this. Let's go all together. Let's go forward. So that's front foot. Okay. Forward. Backward, backwards. Okay, forwards, forward, forward, backward, backward, backward. When I did 3 steps, I don't think I take up more than 6 feet of space here. In fact, I know I'm taking up about 5. So hopefully you can fit in your living room and do this. Okay, let's do it. Forward, a few more. Forward, forward. There should always be look at the space between my feet. Backwards, backwards, forward, forward. I'd never step back with my front foot first because there's a moment when I do that my feet are together. This moment right here before I step back would be a great time to get knocked off my feet. And it's not that the person's going to have ninja timing to his feet are together, I'm going to punch him now. People are going to be swinging and you don't want them to connect even with your arms when you're off balance. Going to the ground when you're in a fight is going to be the worst thing that can happen. So you always want your feet as far apart, not as far apart as you can, but you always want them far apart and you want good base. Even if you forget everything else I say and you decide to just go ham and throw punches, have good base when you do it, because what you don't want is to step in, throw a punch, fall, and a guy gets on top of you, okay? All right, so let's talk about left, right. In a normal stance with my left foot in front, if I want to go left, if I want to circle left, I'm going to step first with my left foot. Yes. So it's going to be in my case, my front foot. And if I circle right, it's going to be my right foot that goes first. Okay. So I'm just going to, let's do a couple of left, right? So let's go left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right. Okay, so let's now mix it up: forward, backwards, left, right. And this is, I got enough of a bend in my knees that we're getting a little bit of a workout, glutes, quads, right? Okay, so let's do it. I'm going to call it, like I said, go your direction. Do the direction I say, not the one that you see. Okay, so forward, 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 backwards, backwards, right, left, left, right, backward, forward, forward, backwards, left, right, right, left, forward, backward, backward, left, right, right, forward, forward, left, back, back. Okay. Practicing all the time, having good base, keeping about, a couple feet between your feet at all times. So you never take a step and put your feet close together, right? That's just footwork. Okay. So let's talk now about like our bread and butter clinch. And the great thing about this clinch is I can teach this clinch to somebody in a minute. I can teach this clinch to somebody in a minute. Run at them, cover your head, bump into their chest, wrap your arms around them and grab them. Okay, that's a clinch, and it's not so much more sophisticated than that. I'm going to give you a side view on it. But when I'm here, basically, but timing is the thing that takes longer to explain. So let me explain timing second. When it's time for me to clinch, which I'll talk about in a moment, I'm going to do this. I'm going to step forward, and I'm covering my head. I'm touching my head. So now let me come down here. I am covering my head. I'm holding the crown of my head, not my forehead, and I'm not floating here. If I clinch like this, and I'm trying to bump into somebody with my forearms, but there's no contact between my hands and my head, then I'm going to get two black eyes, right? I'm going to hit myself in the head. So instead, when I clinch, my hands are already attached, and I'm palming my head. I'm putting on my arm helmet, right? And then I'm bumping. Usually with our classmates, we'll do it flush with the forearm. You could also spike the person with the elbow if you want to. But when you step in, it's going to be boom, right? Flush. And you want to be ready to take that impact. That's why my hand's already on my head. So it's boom, and then it's going to be a second step forward with that front foot, and I'm going to clinch. So the whole movement is bump and wrap. Okay, I'm grabbing my wrist. You can gable grip. It's whatever you're comfortable with. I've got 23 years of grabbing my wrist. So step forward, bump. Step forward again. Okay, and wrap. I am not bumping and then turning to do this, but you could. Technically, you could. It seems like a little bit of extra wasted space to me, but I have a favorite side that I like to go to, and usually people throw their right hand. So when I bump, it's easy to then wrap around them. If somebody threw their left hand at me, you might see me do this. Okay, so be ready to do both. I think that they're both legit. And if you can keep it to as little motion as possible, that's what you want to do. Okay, so it's going to be one forward step, which is always with your front foot first, and you've got your arm helmet on. Bump and wrap. Let's do it a few times. So bump and wrap. I'm sort of slamming my foot on the ground a little bit just to help me envision the impact. Okay, so bump and wrap. Bump and wrap. Okay. You want to be ready to grab them tight too when you grab onto them. Okay. So let's talk about timing just for a moment. Timing wise, when I clinch with somebody, it's going to be this. This is when we get down to basically fundamental theory of jiu-jitsu in a self-defense scenario. So if if we're fighting, I'm here and you're here. If we're fighting and you like punching, you're going to want to be close to me. You're going to be close to me because then the punches that you throw reach me, right? So, but if you step forward and I do my footwork and I step back, I'm trying to stay outside of striking range. So the idea in jiu-jitsu is, I'm trying to give you a little background here. Back up, back up, back up. And when they really try to close, they get sick of it. When they really step forward and close toward you, you close toward them, and then you connect. And that's like fundamental theory of distance management for our standing jiu-jitsu game. They come in, back away, until they're trying to close the whole distance, right? So someone is going to step in trying to close the partial distance, right? Because they're just trying to get close enough to punch you and to stand in range. And if you back away, you've disagreed. You've said, I'm not going to enter this gentlemanly distance that you'd like to stand in to throw fisticuffs. As I'm not playing your game. Boom. It's a strategic thing. Okay. They come in again, you back up again, because they're just trying to get halfway so they can fight. But when they decide to hit you, to cross the entire chasm and punch you, that is the time to close, because it's a little, and when they go a lot, you go a lot, and then you connect, okay? So it really might look more like this. So the full drill in terms of clinch is going to be this. I might back up because he comes at me. He just steps toward me, basically, trying to step into range. Tries to step into range, and the next time when he gets sick of dancing, he's like, okay, pal, let's fight. He comes at me with a punch. That's when I'm going to do this and wrap, okay? So it might look like this. It might be, okay? The other thing you can add in is, and you can watch the first UFC. That's what we should watch in the sparring review, because it's on YouTube now. The other thing that Hoist does is Hoist really stands on his back leg. That's because he uses his front kick as well, the pisant, that front kick, to keep the guy back. Guy starts to enter his space, and he does this. That's because, you can't get backed up infinitely, that you're going to run into a wall. In part just because sometimes that's the easier thing to do. So I'm actually leaning back. I'm not leaning like this and then bumping. No, boom, walking around like leaning forward. The weight is over the back foot, and that's because the front foot is also a weapon. And it might even just be enough of a weapon that if I was coming in, that you kick at me, that I just do this a little bit, but it's a worthwhile weapon. So let's do this. Let's start. I'm going to start in the camera. Here, we're going to go get your weight on your back foot a little more. Let's talk about that part now. Weight's on the back foot a little more. Now step back, right? And now clinch. Clinch. You do lean forward when you come in. But when you're dancing, when you're just doing the footwork, you're on your back foot. So 1, 2, bump, and wrap, right? He enters, tries to enter. He goes for a punch. It's a bump and a wrap. Okay. So that's clinching. Let's look at takedown. So the takedown that we're going to do first is going to be the leg hook takedown. So imagining that I have wrapped my arms around my opponent, that I bumped and then wrapped my arms around my opponent. And let's say I have this is my left ear, my close ear against their chest. I'm going to do this now. First of all, every time you clinch, you do actually want to be walking the person back. So it's going to be dynamic. You're never going to grab onto them, stand here, and wait for anything. Because any punches that they can generate from here, you want to take even more power from. So you're going to walk them back. After you've clinched with somebody, you want their punches to look like this. They're walking backwards, and no good footwork can be used. They can't kick, and punches are all garbage. So because you're walking backward, they're walking backwards. So I've clinched around somebody. I have my ear against their chest. We can't talk too much about like what that positioning looks like because you'd have to imagine too much. But I've clinched on somebody, and we're going to do this. I'm going to step forward, like in front of them. I got my ear against their chest. Imagine I'm going to step in front of them, hook their leg with the other leg, and pick it up and turn. Okay. So I'm walking them backwards, but then I take one step in front, and then I catch their heel, and I pick it up and I turn. Okay. So I want to describe this well enough that you can imagine it. And it's not for a lot of my students, but if it was the first time you heard me explain this, and I was telling you that I've now clinched, and my foot is next to your feet on the ground. Can you see my feet? Here are the feet on the ground. My foot is next to the feet. So I'm a little bit around the corner. My ear is on the chest. I want to do this. This foot that I'm around the corner, that I'm just a little bit the side, that's the one that I'm going to pick up like this. Okay? So that's the one I'm picking up. So I've clinched. I'm going to step. And then I'm going to, from behind, I'm not hooking inside like this or doing any other hip tossy kind of thing. I just step forward, hook that foot, and my left ear is against the person, right? And it's my left foot hooking. And I'm going to pull it behind me and turn. You actually turn to steal their leg as well as you can. We're here, step in with my right foot, hook with my left, and pick it up and turn. And when I hit the ground right here, that's actually me landing in mount, okay? So let's do the whole thing for a sec. So get ready to take 2 back, and then we're gonna close. So 1, 2, and then bump and wrap. Now step in front, pick up their leg, turn. And you notice as I turn, changing my angle for you, I let go to put my hands on the ground. I do that because I'm solo drilling, and I would do that with an opponent, right? There's no reason to hold on to them, land on my fists underneath their back, be uncomfortable for, honestly, me more than them if we're talking about concrete. So, okay. So we're here. I'm going to go 2 steps back and then clinch. 1, 2, bump, wrap, and now step in front of them, hook their foot, pick it up, and then I'm ending up in that. Let me give you a different angle on the same thing. So I start here, back, bump, and wrap. Step in front of them, pick this leg up. Okay. When you pick their leg up, when you do this part, you notice I don't just trip them. I don't just trip them and then fall. I'm picking their leg up. So what happens to the person is when you pick up their leg, it does this. So you do want to pick it up off the ground, like 18 inches, like more than 18 inches. Pick it up. One more from that angle. 2 steps back. 1, 2, and then bump and wrap. Bump, wrap, step in front, leg hook, and take them down. Okay. So we've hit the ground. We're going to get, by the time we're done, we're going to have a whole scenario from the fight starting to the finish. Okay. The position is the next thing to think about. We talked about footwork, then we talked about the clinch. We just talked about a takedown. Now let's talk about position, and then we can talk about the finish, okay? The position that we're ending up in is mount. So after I've stepped in and picked up their leg, I do end up in mount, okay? And the position I'd like to have is their back, okay? And this is like your go-to fight plan. From mount, I'm going to smother them here for a second, let them waste some energy. They're probably going to try and push me side to side or something like that. We'll deal with that in a minute. But what I'm going to do is assume things are on my terms, and I'm going to sit up and I'm going to throw open hand slaps. And, I've always done this. This is definitely my plan if I get in a fight and I need to use this stuff. Can I guarantee 100% I won't be mad and close my fists and try to hurt someone more? No, but I want to train myself to use open hands. I want to train myself to use open hands because skulls are hard and lots of little bones in your hand are breakable. And I don't want to break my hand in a fight. I'd rather both people leave without any damage. And that's the other reason for the open hand slaps, right? Maybe not because I love this person, but I don't want to get sued by them. So if I can just put them to sleep and embarrass them, that's a different story. All right, just took them down, got them out. Sit up. You want to scare them. So really turn your shoulders when you throw these open hands straight. It's not this. Okay, then Greg said open hand slap them. So I'm doing this, right? Turn your shoulders, widen your eyes, scare them, make them turn over before you have to hit them a lot of times, right? So scare your person. What's going to happen is the bottom guy's going to do this. You're going to see the punches coming, and he's going to try and turn over so he can, if you were in the last class, build up his base and try and get away. 100%. Somebody's on the bottom getting punched in mount who doesn't know jiu-jitsu, they're going to turn around, try to get on all fours to help them get up. And it's actually not only just our natural instinct, but it's like smart. It's smart too, whether they know it or not, because when you build up that base again, you do have a chance to throw the guy off and end up on top of him. And that's not what we want, so we're going to make sure we take care of that not happening. So I've taken a guy down, I'm in mount. Sit up, we're going to throw our slaps, and now we have to accommodate the person turning over. So he's going to roll over, and I'm just going to sidestep on my knees and let it happen. Sometimes in jiu-jitsu, we close space, and we don't let people move. Sometimes we open space and they move. And this is a moment when I'm throwing punches that I want him to move. So I let him turn over to his side. And from here, he's going to get up, right? So I could put in a choke with no hooks in. I don't have my hooks in yet. But that could go badly. If I put in a choke with no hooks and he rolls me off, I'll be on the bottom. And that's not good. Okay. So sit up, throw punches, accommodate the turnover, and I'm going to do this. When they get up to all fours, which they're going to do from their belly, I'm going to let them, but I'm going to put my foot hooks in, putting my hooks in right here and here. I wrap under their arms, and then I'm going to put my hands on the ground. I'm going to point my toes backwards and open my knees and flatten them out. Okay? So this is the best way to solo drill this, okay, is to do it this way. I throw punches, I accommodate them turning over, and when they get up, I'm going to let them get up. So I just pop up, I put my feet in, I put my arms under, I'm going to hold them under their arms. But for our purposes, put your hands on the ground, because you would be doing this. Put your hands on the ground, put the tops of your feet on the ground, soles of your feet together, and open your knees. That's what it's going to look like when you flatten a person out. Then you can sink a choke. And with these hooks in particular with your feet together, it's going to be very hard for them to disentangle their legs and get away. Okay, so last time from mount, we're going to do the finish, and then we'll do the whole scenario. Okay, so from mount, I landed them on my hands. I'm going to sit up. I'm going to throw punches. I'm going to accommodate the turnover. I'm going to accommodate the get up. These are actually things I'm accommodating. I'm giving space for it. But then I'm going to put my foot hooks in, 1, 2. I'm going to grab them, but that's our hands on the floor for our purposes. Put your shoelaces on the floor, soles of your feet together, open your knees and drive your hips in. And now you can sink. Now you can sink a choke. Okay. Just lastly, before we go to the whole series, I'm going to do this. Presuming I have now flattened the person out and I'm going to sink a choke, I want to make sure it looks like this. When I flatten them out, I can go inside in the side that they're looking at or the side that they're not looking at. Let's say they hit the ground like this. One really good way to finish a rear naked choke is exactly what Nate Diaz did to Conor McGregor. So he turned the whole face when he reached in, turned the whole face, and then held the shoulder, and then punched the face so that the choke was in place. Okay, and that is a great way to finish a rear naked choke. So you don't actually even try to get under the chin. If it's there, do it. If it's there, do it. It's much easier. But you can, and again, this can be an open palm strike. You don't have to punch someone's face. But you take the chin across and you hold the shoulder so their face is not stuck here, and then you hit the face across and your choke is sunk, right? It's extremely effective and efficient, and it was beautiful when Nate did it to Conor. If not, no matter who you were a fan of, basically. Okay. So again, when I'm on top here, back a little bit. When I'm on top and I sink the choke, I'm trying to catch the chin and turn it, hold the shoulder, and then kind of strike the person. And now my choke is in. Okay, let's do the whole thing. We talked about a lot of stuff. So starting with footwork. Okay, I'm actually gonna go this way so you can see the whole thing. So here, we're gonna go 2 steps backwards as they like just are kind of facing off of this. Back up a little bit, back up a little bit. When they go for the big chase for a punch, you pump and wrap. Step in front of them. Hook their leg and pick it up and turn and land in mount. Now we can finish. Sit up, throw open strikes, accommodate the turnover, accommodate the get up, right? And then I put my hooks in. I put my harness in, but it'll be our hands on the floor for our purposes. I'm going to back up so you can see. I'm going to put the tops of my feet on the ground, the soles of my feet together. Open your knees. That's the better way. It's not kicking back. It's open your knees and drive your hips. And then for this finish, I'm going to move myself for this finish. I'm going to come across the chin and hold the shoulder. Then I'm going to strike the face so that their chin is now lined up with my elbow. Okay, that's what, if I could just slide the elbow in, I would. A lot of people fight that, so, right? And then strike the face in, and then you can sink and choke. Okay. Whole thing top to bottom. I just narrated it. Hopefully you did it with me. I'm going to narrate it. Let's do it together, right? Let's do it like 5-6 times. Okay. So it's going to be back, bump and wrap. Step in front of them, hook the leg, pick it up, and turn to mount. Sit up, throw strikes, move sideways to accommodate that. Accommodate the get up, right? Put your hooks in, put your harness in, which is actually my hands on the ground for our purposes. I'm going to put the tops of my feet on the ground, open up my knees, drive down. And for the finish, I'm going to come across the chin, hold the shoulder, slap the face into place, and then hand on hand, slide this right behind the neck, and we have our squeeze. Okay? All right, great. Thanks, Mark. Let's do a few more. So back, bump, and wrap. Step in front, hook the leg and turn. Boom. That's our leg hook. So like some of you guys, like Mark's working on his first strike, second strike. You're going to see all this stuff, you guys. So now I'm down here. I'm going to sit up, throw strikes. When they start to turn over, I accommodate it. I say, okay, yeah, go for it. When they try to get up, I say, okay, yeah, go for it. Because it gives me the space to put my hooks and harnessing. It's great for me. Okay. From here, I'm going to put the tops of my feet down, soles of my feet together, open my hips and drive down. I'm going to come in across the chin here, slap the face into position, put the hand on the back of my hand, slide this in for the choke. We're going to get our nice choke right there. Let's keep going. Back, bump, and wrap. And the step, hook, turn, and take them down. Okay. From the ground, I'm going to sit up, throw punches, and everything after that is sure, pal. Okay, pal. But then you put your hooks in. You're going to have your harness. It's going to be this, but here, drive down, open my knees, reach in. You know, it might be easy to reach in the side he's not looking at. It's going to be the same thing. If he's looking this way, just go this way. Same thing. Cross the jaw. Same answer. Cross the jaw. Slap the face into position. Hand on hand. Slide this in for our nice choke. What's up, Dan Marcotte? All right. Let's do it. We're going to do like 3 more. Back, bump, and wrap. Step in front of your guy now. Hook behind his leg. Pick it up and turn to mount. Okay? From here, sit up. Scare him into turning over. You don't have to hit him into turning over. Sit up. This is bad. You can see how bad it is when you're on the bottom. They turn over. Okay. They get up. Okay. Hooks and harness. Boom. Feet, toes should point backwards. You should be on your shoelaces. Open your knees and drive down. And now you're gonna decide which side you want to put in. You can try and put in both and just see which goes. Boom, strike the face in. Now here's your choke. 2 more. I'm going to start from here. Back, bump, and wrap. Step in front, leg hook. Take them down to mount. Sit up, throw punches or slaps. Accommodate sideways movement. Accommodate the get up, their belly down, coming up to their knees. But put your hooks in, put your harness in. Shoelaces on the ground. Open your knees, drive in. Wrap, catch their chin, you know, here. Slap their face into place, sink your choke. Last one, if I counted right. Back, bump, and wrap. Step in front, hook, and take down. Sit up, scary. Turn your shoulders, widen your eyes. You should be scary here. Let them roll over, let them get up. Get your hooks in, get your harness in. It's going to be my hands on the floor. Now, shoelaces, just because we're going to point our toes backwards between their legs. Drive them down. Reach in. Turn the face for them. Sink your choke. Okay. That is my plan A. I get in a fight. I won't have to think. I've done this thousands of times. This is going to be my plan A. Okay. If not, another scenario. So with a little bit limited time, I'm going to hold off on doing the second scenario. I will pause, and I will, because we do have people who are both on Facebook and YouTube. Does anybody have Any questions? Anybody have any questions? I know there's a lag, so I'll hang out for 15 seconds. If any of you guys have any questions, my students will have seen this before. I know Mark said, looks good, thanks. So that's good. I'm glad this fits in with, like, you know, it's got to fit your mental model of what a fight would look like, right? And if you can imagine that someone's going to chase you down when you move until they get sick of it, move like this. If I'm just a regular guy trying to fight you, I'm going to try to get close to you, you know? And then at a certain point, I'm going to come at you. And that's when to clinch, especially like this moment here. Boom, there's the chest. Any flash of the chest, like the surface of a gem, you know, when they come in, they may know nothing. They may be like, come on, man, what's up? And then they throw this punch. But this moment here, when the chest is flashed, I should already be connecting to them. I should already be bumping the chest and going. But hey, man, if you close on a fist on its way in and you're like this, the reason for the arm helmet is because if you're wrong about your timing, that it's going to glance off. It's going to glance off your forearm or hit your forearm, but not knock you out. And that's what we want. But now look how close you are to them. And now it's wrap. And today we did the leg hook takedown. There's certainly other takedowns we could do. One of the other nights this week, I'll make sure that I cover the rear takedown. But tonight we did that. Bump, wrap, leg hook takedown, and then just throw punches, turn them over, sink the choke. It couldn't be more easy. The hardest thing about the whole thing is distance management. And it's the part that if you've seen it before, you're going to be like, okay, here we go again. Or like, you know what I mean? You may feel, you need to resist the feeling of, I know this. This is the thing I know. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, we did this in class. 1, 2, 3. But we rep it in class because you really have to get a feel for the bubble. Like, how close is too close? Well, obviously it's too close if they can hit you or kick you. But how close is that? You know, and it takes a little bit of doing. So we're always going to do it. I'm always going to come back to doing this. This would be honestly the only thing you need to know. I've done a private with a couple times. I've done privates with people who just wanted to learn how to handle themselves in a fight. My friend's son who went to college, he was a freshman in college. He and a friend came and did a private with me. I showed him just this, and I feel totally comfortable that if they practice a little bit with each other and they get used to the idea and they stick to the plan, that they would be fine in almost any altercation that they're going to get into at like a college party. You know what I mean? Okay. So I strongly recommend that you practice this stuff a little bit, just like I just did. So if you're watching today, but you can't practice it, I actually don't have a problem with that at all. In fact, I hope more of you guys tune in during, after, in your car, while you're working from home, you know, while your kid is playing in the yard and you have like a chance to steal like a look while you're listening to it. All of that helps because what we're doing in jiu-jitsu, most of all, is learning. What we're doing in this class is learning. And it's going to be that way until and beyond black belt. And the best way to learn is to start putting together the visual part of your mind and the motor part of your mind. And the more you can listen to something and sort of imagine that you're feeling it yourself, the better. So in class, I'll show you something and then you'll feel it. I'll show it and you feel it. I'll show it. So there's a little visual and then a lot of feeling. You know, because of how things are now, it's going to be a lot of visual and a lot of imagination. But bridging that gap between what you see and what you can feel in your body, like imaginarily, if that's a word, feel in your body, the more you'll be able to learn faster. We all learn faster at higher levels because I can watch a video on YouTube and then go do it in class. And a white belt can't do that. And that's because of exactly what you have an opportunity now during this time off to work on. Okay. So I'm talking a lot at the end here. But I hope that that's something that you can take away. It's truly, this is an opportunity using visualization and using imagination to feel it in your body. If you get good at it during this break, then when you come back to class, you'll have class, but you'll also get more out of every video you ever watch again. And watching videos is something you can do when you're not in class. And some of us can only get to class an hour a week because of family or whatever. So increasing your ability to take more from videos you watch is something you're going to want to get great at over the whole career to black belt and beyond. It's still something I'm thankful it finally developed for me. I learned kind of slow, and now that I can see something and do it, I'm very happy. So we're working on that skill now. It's not the same as working on arm bars, but I feel good about the feedback I've gotten from some of you guys, and I know that those of you who I see in here all the time when we get back to class, you're all going to be surprising yourself, and I'm going to hear it about how you remember stuff that we did here. If you can get the reps in too, in particular, but also worth watching and listening and seeing if you can imagine it. All that's good for you. Okay, so thanks so much, guys. I'm gonna end it here because I'm now gonna head into for my students. I'm gonna head into a Zoom. I have to get that all set up. I'd like to start it on time for 8:45. Some people are just gonna make that live tonight. And thanks so much for watching. Nice to see you guys. Take care. Take care, YouTube. We'll see you later.